Hi, so today I want to talk about ADHD and other conditions where concentration is an issue and try and describe a bit what this is like. So it could be ADHD, attention deficit disorder, it could be dyslexia, dyspraxia, which is what I have, it could be autism, there's also others like dyscalculia. They all kind of overlap a bit with the concentration issue. So from my perspective, and I can see how this was because I don't have the issues I did have. So what it was like, so for anyone old enough to remember cassette tapes, you used to have dropouts where the tape got a bit exposed to something and the sound would drop out for a little bit. So that's kind of what was going on with, I guess my brain was just dropping out for a split second every so often. So it was like I was getting most of everything but missing a little bit here and there, and those little bits would rack up. So I guess if I'm just trying to find a bit of text. So we're back to, but I mean, here is some text. So just imagine if you're listening to something and maybe every 10th word is missing. You get most of it, but you might miss an important bit every now and then along the way. And obviously this is then affected by if you're tired or you're stressed, it accumulates, so it gets worse. That's what it was like. Now I'm sorry, I don't know really how I would describe this to people of a younger generation. But it literally was, for me, it was kind of more of a time thing that just every now and then there'd just be a blank, and it wasn't even you're kind of half aware of it, and a lot of people describe the frustration of just missing stuff and not being able to keep up, and not understanding why. And you find that what I find is that the people who describe it best are people who've had some treatment, or they've had something that enables their condition to get better. So for me it was getting the right glasses and getting stuff done with my teeth, funnily enough. So they have something to compare it to. I mean, before I had this done, all I knew was I just couldn't keep up as well, and it was frustrating, and I could describe it somewhat, but not with, I didn't have the insight that I do now that I have something to compare it with. So people who are not, who cannot get the treatment for it, or are not being treated for it, or, haven't got adequate treatment for it, they may not be able to describe it that well, because they really don't have a baseline or anything, a different experience to compare it with. And I know, you know, because I bother with forums about this, and people are describing how they get a really hard time for not concentrating. But I mean, I can tell you now in concrete terms, my brain was just shutting off, probably for a few milliseconds every now and then. There was nothing I could do about it. I couldn't concentrate harder. My brain was just doing this by itself. So turning up the volume and getting cross, it was doing nothing. You know, it wasn't making my brain switch on again. So, you know, for anyone, you know, who is watching this and maybe is getting a bit frustrated, you know, with someone who, you know, doesn't appear to be able to remember simple things, you know, they really can't help it. This is, if they could, they would. So instead of giving them a hard time, maybe find some ways of helping them to remember, or finding some ways of communicating. You know, some things are more important to remember than others, for example, and there's all sorts of strategies, you know, that help. They don't cure it, but they can, you know, help from day to day. Being patient and understanding is, I mean, common courtesy comes into this, people. So, you know, just remember that the person who isn't concentrating, who is drifting off, who forgets this and that, they're really not doing it on purpose, and it's about just finding better ways to work with people. So I don't know if anyone has any descriptions of their own. I would really enjoy seeing those in the comments section. So yeah, please like, subscribe, and hope to see you in my next video.